Hello, and welcome to week 21 of Wrestling in Mom's Basement. I, of course, am Patrick Young. This guy to my right is the Mike Tenay to my Tony Schiavone, Joseph Venuta.
This is our continuation of week 21.
If this looks and sounds different, it's because
we're on laptop finally.
Yeah, we're finally on a laptop.
A real one.
Yeah.
With a real camera.
Leave comments down below if you like this better or you like using our phones better. But this is generally what we're going to try to switch to, and if it's not as good quality, we'll try to do something a little bit more to make it a little better for you guys.
Yes, because we're modern and young and hot.
Yes.
As you all tell us.
Yeah, we're just sexy boys.
Yeah. And
we're not your boy toys, though.
And like partners.
We're just your sexy boys.
We got some news to go through this week. By the way, everything should probably be in one video now this week.
Yeah.
For this portion.
It finally can be everything be in one video.
No, I am half expecting now that I said that, me to tell. Like around 30 minutes. It'll switch to a new portion.
Yeah.
So there's an awkward transition. We're new to this laptop. So.
Yes.
And I'm not sure about that. Don't know how true that is.
You're still barely in the frame. There we go.
Is that better?
Yes.
I'm so sorry about it, aren't
I? How are you still out of it?
My whole body's over here.
Oh, so is my shoulder.
Oh, I don't
my shoulder. That's the end of my shoulder.
I'm the host now.
We realize we shouldn't be talking, doing this in the middle of a video that's going to be uploaded.
You're the one that's moving. You're the one moving cameras around, though, saying I'm not in it. I wasn't in it.
No, half your face was missing.
There we go.
Should we restart this video? Probably. Are we going to? No.
No. It's the greatest 2 minutes of your life.
Yes.
Okay. There's a major stipulation we add to Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 34 if said match happens. Last week, Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns won the Intercontinental Championship, became the company's latest Grand Slam champion. It was a surprise to see Vince drop the title, apparently, in his career. But it's going to take some time away from WWE television film and a movie which created for the chase for the chase of Reigns. Now the WWE Universe wants to know what's next for Reigns' reign. Roman's reign. There's straight that obviously bring back to a big challenge that John Cena made famous during his UFC reign a couple of years back. Thus far, WWE superstars have issued challenges such as Elias and Jason Jordan and Finn Balor from social media. Roman Reigns decided to hold the IC title until the powers that be pulled out the trigger on his long way the Universal title match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34. However, it's also been reported that officials are considering a huge champion versus champion match between Lesnar and Reigns, which will keep the IC title on Romans into New Orleans. Lesnar versus Reigns is expected to be a massive match, so making it a winner-take-all situation could make their feud somewhat special, especially since the WrestleMania match has been written in stone for almost a year. It seems that the officials are serious that Roman Reigns will walk out of New Orleans with the IC title and the WWE Universal Championship next year. Those trade points can always change, but it depends on how the WWE Universe responds to Roman's title reign over the coming months. The chivalry will continue, but it seems the WWE officials are already preparing Reigns for a showdown with Lesnar. Since Brock's schedule is limited on WWE television, the Intercontinental Championship is technically the top future title for the brand. The title reign could be a slow transition to bring Roman Reigns back into the forefront as the guy. If he's the future champion on Raw or next 4 months to win the Universal title will be easier for him to handle since he's already been the top guy. Also, the officials changed their minds. The fans can expect Roman Reigns to have the IC title for some time.
Funny enough, I don't actually expect him to hold it as long as Mania. I say probably the Rumble he loses it, maybe sometime in February at the latest. Raw has the Elimination Chamber, right?
Yeah.
So he could possibly lose it there. I don't expect him to go into Mania with the Intercontinental title.
Is that because you don't see Brock contending for that?
No, I don't.
Personally, I prefer if he's not losing to Samoa Joe or Finn just to stay on him.
Yeah.
For WrestleMania. And I'm not a fan of not having a separate championship match on the card. At the same time, it's better than a championship. It's better for the championship to be featured on the biggest match on the card than featured in a kickoff match on the big in the early 2-hour empty arena part portion of the show. So. Yeah. One Brock Lesnar rumor opponents for a Rumble. This seems to be the lead one right now because the headline says Brock Lesnar's opponent for Royal Rumble revealed. Shortly after Brock Lesnar won the WWE Universal Championship from Bill Goldberg at WrestleMania 33, a list of future opponents were revealed for him. Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns were all on the list. Throughout the year, Joe and Strowman have received title shots against Lesnar. WWE officials have been playing Brock vs. Roman for WrestleMania 34. There are too many questions about Balor and Wyatt's WWE futures right now, which leaves just one big name. It's being reported by Pro Wrestling Unlimited that Lesnar's opponent at the Royal Rumble could be Seth Rollins as the Shield's falling back in full force. For instance, Roman Reigns is capturing the title while Ambrose and Rollins are pursuing the World titles this upcoming Monday Night Raw. That could keep them busy for the rest of the year, but the officials might have some bigger plans for the Shield and the WrestleMania season. Since the House of Justice is being pushed strongly, WWE officials have been planning a title shot for each Shield member heading into WrestleMania 34. Rollins is expected to receive a title shot at the Royal Rumble. On paper, Dean Ambrose looks like he's going to receive a title shot of his own in the WWE Elimination Chamber. The WWE Universe knows the endgame will be Roman Reigns defeating Brock Lesnar on the grand stage and all, but it seems WWE officials want Lesnar to face all three members of the Shield to get to Roman. If Seth Rollins is the one to receive the Universal title match with Brock Lesnar Royal Rumble, it could also be the catalyst for the change in one member of the Shield in particular. Eventually, it could lead to the rumored heel turn for Dean Ambrose as a second to happen before WrestleMania. While Roman goes on to win the Universal Championship, Ambrose and Rollins will continue their feud on the grand stage of them all. It's also been some time since the Kingslayer received a title shot. The officials bringing him back into the Universal title picture will rekindle his feud with Lesnar and bring the Shield to the top of the card for three of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. Unless creative plans change, Seth Rollins should be Brock Lesnar's opponent at the Royal Rumble. But what comes afterwards is much more interesting.
I'm actually going to say I actually prefer Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar at Rumble. Just because we sort of seen some sort of type of Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar match, and that ended up being pretty much Brock dominated the crap out of him.
Yeah, the 5-minute main event.
Yeah,
from 2 years
where
ago.
Undertaker popped up at the end to have Rollins be able to keep his title. I would prefer Brock fight somebody new. That's generally what I feel about Brock. Where he goes in February, I mean, you do have the Elimination Chamber. You can just throw people in there for the title or number one contender, and Brock just comes out. And,
yeah, well, Brock's not on the chamber. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I would prefer to see Finn Balor instead of Brock running through the Shield, and I think you can also, if the Shield doesn't, if Brock doesn't go 3 months in a row with the Shield, I think it creates a more personal story with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose.
Okay.
Personally.
I can't really judge the Brock and Seth match based off of 5 minutes. No, I will admit that from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
People say Brock told Seth Rollins what she did, but it was only 5 minutes. Look where the AJ and Brock match was in the first 7, 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So, we actually don't know what a full Brock and Seth match is like. If it's anything like 2/3 of the Royal Rumble match in Philly in 2015, then I think people will want a Brock and Seth match now. I will say that.
Yes.
If it's anything like that.
However, this is the point I forgot to mention. Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar.
Right, well, that I don't want for Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a story in place either. That was originally supposed to be Brock versus Bray.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Until WWE decided they had Dean on the card, and Dean in a match at WrestleMania instead of Bray.
Yeah, Bray just gets his ass into Mother Rock.
Yeah, so that's what that came down to. But I'm not. So I don't think Brock was into the feud. Honestly.
Yeah.
To be fair. And plus, Brock kind of destroying Dean this time will be a non-catalyst for the heel turn. That if Seth could almost beat Brock, but Dean can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm expecting them to rush things. I'm expecting Dean to turn on Seth on Monday.
I think there's an outside chance of that happening as well.
Yeah. Up next, the real reason why Curran became a Royal General Manager revealed. Last year, the Universe was decided to learn that Curran will be receiving the induction to the W Hall of Fame. Not only will Angle have been honored, but many people were hoping he would win more matches inside WWE ring. In Wrestling 33, the Olympic hero was revealed as World General Manager by Vince McMahon, and Karen was featured on Raw WWE television since. At WTLC, Kurt Maislin was waiting in return the third decade. Angle also was a part of the huge match of WWE Survivor Series. But he's yet to have his first singles match in WWE, while his feud with Triple H builds to WrestleMania 34. Kurt will remain in the World GM role for now. Many fans are curious why he continues to fill the role on television. Once clear, Angle can wrestle part-time again. During recent Q&A at iPlay America, he revealed that Vince McMahon and WWE officials want him to be the general manager of Raw to evaluate his overall health. Angle is undergoing some neck surgeries and injuries in his career, and he has a history of substance abuse. The powers that be wanted to be around to ensure that he could pass a physical drug test and stay clean before allowing him to wrestle. WWE officials saw the GM role will be a better fit for Karen will get back on television and for the WWE Universe to get reacquainted with him as a performer before allowing him to wrestle again. A lot of fans will always be disappointed that Angle's in ring return happening in WTLC with little build. But the majority of fans will just wait to see the Olympic hero back inside the square circle once again. Heading into 2018, Kurt Angle is expected to work a lot more matches and feuds throughout the year. The expectation is that he'll be facing Triple H on the greatest stage in them all. Their tension has already been seen on television since the WWE Survivor Series. It's not the first feud the WWE Universe will choose for Angle, but it should be the first of many. He just needs to regain the trust of the officials and Vince McMahon.
Oh, well, trust-wise, I think he's looked pretty clean.
Health-wise,
maybe it's his leg. I'm hoping just he injured his leg and
yeah.
I really do hope it's his leg instead of his overall quality of his performances going down.
Mm-hmm.
That does eventually come with time.
Yeah.
Every performer ages. No one's immune to that. And for Kurt, I hope that we could still get some more of the old Olympic machine, Kurt Angle. The first match he had at TLC was okay. Survivor Series, it seemed like he was down a step.
Also TLC did get a chance to take a break during the match, so
that's true.
Yeah. The part that scared me was they said he's expected to work a lot more matches in a couple year. That's the part that scared me. Before they worry about how many he's worked it, I want to see how the match of Triple H goes first.
Yeah, the broken freaking necks add up.
Yeah. So instead of worrying about how many he's wrestled next year, I'm worried about how the match of Triple H goes and go from there.
Yeah.
If it's at least a shade of old Angle, then maybe he could keep one going.
Mm-hmm.
Or not, this should probably be his last match.
Yeah.
Huge update regarding the Shield's. I'll call him breakup Angle. I'll look at that. The Shield's second round is going according to plan. Since our initial review a couple months back, a viral illness of Roman Reigns out of action for almost 2 months, or almost a month, while forcing Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins trying to live without him. Following the Shield's second reunion winner New Day Survivor Series, Roman has won the IC title. That victory is caused some concern about their future. Many people will question how long the Shield's current run will last into next year, but Seth Rollins cleared up the situation this week. In the working match with Cesaro and Raw, Monday he defeated Cesaro. Rollins revealed that Ambrose was away. But the duo will be invoking a rematch closer to the World Title Championship, which Cesaro and James next week on Monday Night Raw. Despite Rollins' claim to the Shield reunite, Roman's IC title run and Ambrose's absence is giving the WWE some questions that the officials addressed head on during Seth's promo. The irony is Seth Rollins was the one to disband the Shield during the first run, but he's the one who believes they're buying his shoulder ever. However, with Dean's time we just haven't fallen this week, now the C's have actually been pointed for his eventual heel turn. Next week, Ambrose will reunite with Rollins to try to regain the World Title titles. It's unclear that officials are planning title change next week, but the team of the Shield spreads a lot of fans wondering if there's truth to the rumor that Dean Ambrose will be turning heel soon. It has a rumor, as originally mentioned a couple of shows back, that Rollins is next in line for Universal title match Brock Lesnar Royal Rumble, which could start the chain events that will lead to the Lucha Friends between him and Reigns and the WrestleMania. If Rollins is feud with Lesnar and Roman's is with the IC title, Ambrose could have little to do at one of the most important times of the year, the Royal Rumble. A heel turn could be the only option for human rivalry between Ambrose and Rollins for the current season of Raw. Their feud will be different this time because the roles of babyface and heel will be reversed for a fresh dynamic. On paper, Ambrose and Rollins makes no sense. The officials will be playing the heel turn carefully, but the season already being pointed.
Yeah, I'd hope they don't rush into it. I really do. I think you could probably you can definitely tease it a bit.
Mm.
But I don't think it should happen before the Rumble.
I agree with that, yeah. I'll actually start in the Rumble.
Yes.
Have Dean eliminate him, but not turn him heel yet, but have him just eliminate him. No matter every man for himself.
You could also technically have Rollins eliminate Dean.
Dean, if you want to go that.
Yeah, and then Dean reacts to it as in Rollins is going to turn on us before, like he did before. I'm going to get him before he gets me.
Yeah. But with that being said, I don't know who's winning Monday because there are only 2 teams on Raw, so.
Yeah.
Whoever wins, the other team's going to beat them in a few weeks for the championship, so.
Actually, I'm kind of hoping if the Shield win, the Revival get their chance after.
I'm worried about them.
After hopefully a recovery.
Because Vince must think they're injury prone at this rate.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately, it looks like once they gain momentum, the other gets injured.
Yeah.
The real reason for Ruby Riot's minor name change was revealed. Last week was Sunday Live. Ruby Riot made a debut on the main roster alongside Sarah Logan and Lynn Morgan to form a new group in the Women's division. The trio lay out both Charlotte Flair, the Italian side ring, but they also beat down Naomi and Becky Lynch backstage as well. The W Universe is buzzing around the group's debut a week with Dave officials that made a few minor changes to the stable. During her time with NXT, Ruby Riot was a heavily featured competitor in the Women's division. Most new faces on the main roster undergo some minor changes once they were able to Raw or SmackDown Live. It was revealed on this week's show that Ruby Riot was no different. WWE officials have added another T to her name. Her name will be Ruby Riot. Going forward,
Ruby Riot to tell.
We'll see like a silly change to offense. It's being reported that WWE officials weren't planning on making a change, but there appears to be a big issue with the original Ruby Riot trademark. Apparently, the ownership of the trademark does not belong to WWE, which means that the powers that be were forced to make a small change because the trademark issue won't be resolved until the end of the year or possibly longer. The officials made a small name change. It was revealed on SmackDown Live. Ruby Riot, Lynn Morgan, and Sarah Logan introduced themselves as a new group called the Riot Squad. The three newcomers had their first match against Charlotte, Naomi, and Natalia this week on SmackDown Live. The W Universe got a much better look at the 3 women watched as the Riot Squad won the match at Ruby pin the SmackDown Women's Champion. Over the past 2 weeks, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riot had quite an introduction to the W Universe. The trio dominated and now have a huge win under their belt, so a minor name change shouldn't be an issue, especially since it's so early in Ruby's career. The officials just found themselves in an odd spot and they decided to change this one detail. In a few weeks, the universe will be used to it.
Yeah, it's a small change. However, they do set themselves for up for another lawsuit with Stevie Ray because he has the ownership of the T, as in Booker T.
That's true.
Yeah. It's a small change. They added it to so they can get it.
You don't know if he's going to sue for this.
It's not that big of a deal. I think he would. I think Stevie Ray is still hard up for cash.
He's Booker's brother.
He seemed well during Booker's Hall of Fame speech. He seemed well enough to get a suit, so I guess he's all right.
Major update regarding AJ Styles' future upcoming retirement. At 4 years of age, AJ Styles is arguably the best in-ring performer in WWE today. Arguably.
It's not arguably.
The phenomenal is the current day champion. There are no signs that he's slowing down anytime soon. However, there have been some rumors that his contract with the company will expire in 2019. That will mean the end of his wrestling career. The WWE Universe has speculated about his future for some time. Somehow that created the rumor this week that he will be retiring after WrestleMania 34 next year. But the WWE champion quickly shot down that rumor on social media. It seems there's been a big misunderstanding about his future. It's up to him to clear the situation up. According to a recent interview, AJ Styles has no intention of missing the major events in his kids' lives, but that doesn't mean the end of his wrestling career. It's being reported from the interview that the phenomenal says he can retire from the ring as a full-time competitor the next couple of years. His contract expires in 2019. Will be the opportunity for him to do that, but if WWE were to offer a more limited schedule, similar to what Randy Orton and Chris Jericho have with the company, he said that'll be the perfect situation for someone like him. If his full-time contract WWE signs in a couple of years. Heading to 2018, there is a strong possibility that AJ Styles holds the WWE Championship into the Grand stage and all. There have been some rumors that WWE officials set up a match between the Phenomenal One and Shinsuke Nakamura for WrestleMania 34 or the WWE title. If it's too early It's too early to know if Nakamura Styles will happen this April. It's hard to know what AJ's future will be. AJ's well over a year left on his contract with the company. The W Universe has embraced him as a fan favorite, and Styles has found great success over the past 2 years with WWE. There's no question about him being not only in his wrestling career, but Chris Jericho is still wrestling in his late 40s at the highest level. Someone like AJ Styles may even become part-time performer by during signs that the phenomenal ones looking to handle the boost forever, at least for another few years.
Yeah, pretty much relax. AJ still feels he can go a bit longer.
Do you think he can?
Oh, yeah. He's this talented at age 40.
Right. So what are you trying to say?
I think he can go a few years.
And if I recall, he's never had an injury in WCW, TNA, or WWE that's ever kept him out for a period. Or New Japan that's ever come out for a period of time.
Yeah.
That's from what I understand. On that topic, W Doctors reconsidering Dan Bryan's ring future.
We did talk about it.
It's a little bit on
the Raw vs. SmackDown review this week.
But now this is the second part of it. That the WWE Doctors are considering it.
And by the way, just letting you know, this is all from the Inquisitor website for WWE.
Yeah. So these are the news we need to hear about the Doctors, the WWE ones. They're the ones whose word means it.
Yes, the Inquisitor. The word means everything.
No, the WWE Doctors.
Yes.
Well, where are you at?
Where?
I'm saying the other sources that they're giving me.
Yeah, but you're reading directly from their articles.
Yeah, but they cite the actual dirt sheets. I've been saying according to Wrestling Observer. According to.
But you're reading it directly from their website.
Yes.
So that means you also have to give them credit as well.
Yeah, I know. But I wasn't told why I said their word. I'm talking about the WWE Doctors. This is the word we're looking for.
Yes.
Don't worry, we're not being sued. By the way, the other wrestling podcasts that are way more famous and better at this than we are don't cite nobody just about.
Well, I think we should hold ourselves to a higher standard.
Yeah, why not? I'm not a college somewhere, so there we go. No, I am an English. I'm not an English major.
You're not an English major.
But I'm correcting these people in my head. I'm doing better.
At this point, you probably should have won for your English major.
It's bad. Well, I'm correcting them. A few months ago, they put a comment there, it came to light that Daniel Bryan was actively training for his ring return with his brother. Not his brother.
His brother.
With his wife, Brie. Why did you make me say brother?
That was all you, Hogan.
And though I'm glad you said this because I didn't see Total Divas Live Solution, but I did see the preview for this week's on Twitter. WWE, the footage that Brie Clem put on their YouTube page. Brie is shown missile dropkick and Daniel Bryan.
Oh, really?
For Total Divas this week.
Huh.
So I think I first did the correspondent this story because the reason WWE wasn't shown up because it showed Bryan landing on his head and neck. That's why Brie can play up on the Bella Twins YouTube channel, which is what we're almost as popular as. We almost have 1 million subscribers, probably.
Wait, WWE has a part in their YouTube channel?
No, but they didn't want Bryan, who they do have a part of, with the concussion lawsuit going on, being shown on YouTube on a popular YouTube channel. Their biggest female star's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They landed on his head. As foot, after he had to retire, but now, apparently they're showing the footage you said.
It's a gray area because it's technically a private channel. I don't think WWE has anything to do with that channel.
No, but they obviously use it for their own needs instead.
Yeah.
For a reason.
True.
It's been well documented that officials refused to clear him over the past 2 years, and there's somehow that could change in the near future. Apparently, his recent test results, as you found out the other night, have been excellent as of late. Doctors have said that they don't see any major problems with that Bryan did not get tonight. Unfortunately, his status depends entirely on how WWE doctors evaluate his health. Over the few months, the expectations are that Daniel Bryan will wait for his contract with the company to expire for him to wrestle outside WWE.
Yeah, Cody's also named.
Yeah, for that 10,000.
Yeah, there's rumors flying around of the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes, or Cody R, if you prefer, that they're going to do a 10,000-seat arena show for an independent, and Cody, I guess almost in the same breath, mentioned that a good main event would be him versus Daniel Bryan.
That will happen in September, though.
Yes.
His contract's higher. But that's almost another year away.
Yes.
There's some hope that Bryan may convince any doctors to reevaluate his health for a return. It seems Daniel Bryan has been trying all over the country to see the best medical evaluations. He's found enough doctors' opinions to support his claim that he can wrestle right now. So it'll be up to WWE doctors to decide if he's capable of wrestling a few matches per year. It's very unlikely that Bryan will be medically clear for a full-time schedule, but a part-time schedule does seem plausible. Many people believe that once his daughter was born, Bryan's priorities would change. However, the birth of his daughter has actually fueled him to pursue his dream. I said the day before, Bryan Danielson is going to wrestle again, but the question is if he will need to wait for the WWE contract to expire, or if WWE doctors will give him clearance to wrestle. If they do give him clearance to wrestle, they're looking into it now. They're looking at him possibly returning at WrestleMania. Because him making his return to New Orleans only 4 years into winning the WWE Championship there is a wonderful story. They feel, in all likelihood, if they clear him to wrestle, he will be willing to resign the company. If he's medically cleared to wrestle before his contract expires, which is why he's looking into this now. WWE doctors and the powers that be have a huge decision rate because his return is available. And it's being rumored that if he does return for WrestleMania, that there's some talks of wanting to do him versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
I know a lot of people who would like that. Everyone.
But will it be better than Brock versus Roman? Leave your comments down below.
Yes, it would.
No, I didn't say you could comment.
I'll answer for them. I'll save you the finger cramps you might get.
The carpal tunnel syndrome.
Yeah, the carpal tunnel. that you have maybe a 0.00.2% chance of actually getting. Type in a comment.
Well,
would you rather see AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan or Roman Reigns
versus
Brock Lesnar?
Well, what?
I'm going to say I'd rather see AJ versus Bryan.
Well, I'm telling you, this storyline with Sami and always is Shane. I feel like has been hitting at his return, which is why they probably started looking into it.
Yeah.
And I hear the number 30 slots open in the Rumble that he was supposed to win 2 years ago. 3 years ago at that point.
That is true.
It's just up to WWE to see how long we wait.
I think it's also sort of make or break at this point.
No, I don't think they want to break his neck. I don't think
that's not what I'm saying.
And they don't even make him a new neck. He's good.
I'm not talking about
make or break. You said.
I'm not talking about physically breaking his neck.
Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
No doctor should ever try to break someone's neck.
Don't try that at home.
But what I'm saying is make or break, meaning that Bryan's contract's up in September of next year. I think it's the last time WWE doctors will look at Bryan's case.
I thought this is the last time they're going to look too.
It's gonna be the last time they look at his case before his contract ends.
I think they should look at it.
So let's hope something good turns up so we can get AJ versus Bryan at WrestleMania.
I think it is going to be a yes. From there, no pun intended. But I do think it is going to be a yes because they're really hitting that stuff between him and Shane, or him and Sami Ellis.
Technically, they've been hitting that stuff for Bryan to get in the ring and wrestle people for a very long time. Since he's been general manager.
Yeah, but then they realized they need to get engaged, so those points might not mix. For all we know, they could be playing that last year. But
Miz is still throwing the it kicks.
Right, but Nikki got to get engaged, so those points went out the window.
Which I'm kind of disappointed that Smart Crowd hasn't taken those and started it chants. He doesn't.
Because they're Bryan's kicks.
They are Bryan's kicks.
Miz Miz has one over Smart Crowd, but he's not going to win over Smart Crowd by doing Bryan's moves.
I want to start a movement right here, right now.
Hashtag the it movement.
Hashtag the it movement. And it's pretty much just when Miz does the kicks, the crowd chants it.
Alright, so we just started a trend that will now trend.
Like, it.
He just started a trend that will not trend for at least a month. Since Miz is out of action.
Yes.
So great timing there.
We do have to get better on timing.
Yeah, you do. I will never say a thing like that, so you're the one that said that. And And the last news, because we're still not 100% sure on that one, the last major story will be John Cena rumored to receive a major title shot match at Royal Rumble. But the WWE, I think I just went to Worldwide Wrestling, the WWE Royal Rumble looming. The WWE Universe is starting to realize the WrestleMania season is just around the corner. I think we might have realized that already, but okay. The powers that be are going to pull out the stops to ensure next year's pay-per-view is as grand and as successful as possible. No, not going to book it in the 6-week build-up. Calm down. Don't go into too much for it. However, many officials have needed to rely on part-time performers and some tricks to sell house shows and pay-per-view events. So the pressure is on for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Hand decides to several huge changes were made to the card and increase interest in the event. One of the changes was bringing John Cena back for only one night. As a result, SmackDown Live's ratings dropped to a new level on Halloween, thanks to Jinder Mahal. His involvement was pretty lackluster, but it shows that the officials are willing to do to ensure solid numbers of big pay-per-views, which can be seen in returns at the Royal Rumble. John Cena is scheduled for an WWE show until his rematch with Roman Reigns at Madison Square Garden in late December. The expectation is that Cena will be back on the... Oh my god, they need to air that match in front of that crowd. The expectation is that Cena will be back on the television shortly after that, but he can return to Raw or SmackDown Live, depending on his favorite place. It has been reported that Cena has been considered for a possible Universal title shot with the Beast Incarnate at the Royal Rumble. It's been reported that Seth Rollins is the next in line to face Brock Lesnar. Finn Balor is also getting a lot of attention, and the officials could be reconsidering him as well for a title shot at the Royal Rumble. However, there's some speculation that recent Raw ratings now, not SmackDown ratings, but SmackDown Live ratings has been back up for the past one. Did the Raw ratings come down to force the officials to book a rematch between Cena and Lesnar to hit the event and ensure that ticket sales are strong for their bloodline? Both heavyweights have a lot of history together. It's been a couple of years since the two men faced off inside a square circle at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And Philly.
Yeah, that'd be the last time they're in a ring
together.
Yeah.
It's not clear what John Cena's career plans will be for WrestleMania 34. For some time, I think some are seeing that the plans for him to challenge and defeat Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship. However, those plans have changed. Cena is still a heavy favorite to win the Royal Rumble match, and he's in it. There are many different ways for John Cena to be utilized at the pay-per-view, but a major rematch with Brock Lesnar could be in the cards.
First off, just getting it out of the way, I don't want Cena to win the Rumble. He could be in the Rumble, but I don't want him to win it. Cena has already won 2. Give it to somebody else. As far as a match with Brock goes, it won't be bad. I just still don't want to say it. I know it has been a very long time since they've actually had a match, but Brock, since he's been back, it feels like he feuds with Cena every year or so.
He's had 4 matches with him.
Yeah,
I believe between 2012 and 2015.
Okay, and for Brock, that's literally like a half of a year program with somebody.
Look, if it don't hurt a young guy's no man, like don't see it. And the match can't hurt. If they're going to throw Finn or Bray in there and they're going to be completely squashed, then I'd rather see Cena in there. Because Cena could take the loss.
Yeah.
Well, unless you want a young guy that just to get buried for no reason. I don't believe these full reports that Brock wants to work with Finn fully. I feel like that's more Heyman than Brock on this one.
And that's probably a true story. Yeah.
I'm having the hardest time picturing Brock selling Finn's offense. I'm sorry. Like he did for AJ. It's old kicks. That barely not breakdown. The only move I see knocking Brock down is the run leg. The run foot kick off the apron a couple times in the head.
Yeah.
The Shogun dropkick, Brock's not selling that thing.
No.
And the coup de grace, honestly, 188 pounds come down, you will hurt. 188 pounds come down on Brock. No. So like that's what I mean. I feel like this one's more Heyman pushing for Finn. If Finn's book even as half as good as AJ was, I would want the match. But I really don't see Brock dying to work with Finn like he did for AJ. I don't think Brock's gonna go all out to make Finn's offense look dominant. Like with the selling and all.
Yeah.
And Bray, I'm not sure why he's in discussion. I mean, The best shot Bray has in Brock is he dresses as Sister Abigail.
It's pretty much my key argument against Cena and Brock, though, is for Brock, it's technically happened a lot.
Yeah, but at this point, I'm used to Brock.
I mean, Cena's one of the few people that Brock feuded with before he left and after he left.
But there is literally nobody else, though, on the Raw brand that's going to be, I don't think, booked good. Because you don't want to put Joe and Braun in that spot again, just to feed them to Brock again. Now, even if they do look good in the match, you don't want to put them in that spot again. I have no idea why Bray's in contention. Finn, I'm afraid, I just don't. The match is really hard for me to suspend disbelief with that match. It'll be different if the Demon wrestled different than Finn, if that makes sense. Demon Finn don't wrestle different than Finn. And I don't know why WWE does not capitalize on that. Like, tell him to change up his style a little bit when he's the Demon. I get the Demon is like, they're getting away with this gimmick of he could lose as Finn because he's just a man. But when he's the Demon, he's more dangerous. Which makes sense on paper. Minus the fact that he wrestles the same. He's just putting on, to casual, like he's putting on makeup.
Yeah.
And he's better with makeup on. And body paint. That's what it looks like to a casual. I will give him credit. If he wrestled the way he fought AJ at TLC, though, that was a different side thing.
Yeah.
He was more aggressive in that.
Well, that's technically the last match he's had as the Demon.
But I can't picture even that kind of offense working on Brock. But at least that will give it a chance. But he doesn't wrestle like that all the time as the Demon, is my point.
That's true.
He doesn't wrestle that aggressively. What he did with AJ. I guess that was worse because he was the heel in the match.
Yeah.
So, he worked heel. Like, he had, before that, the Demon was Bray, right? The Demon came out for Bray.
Yes.
At SummerSlam. He didn't wrestle like that at SummerSlam. So, like, that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about Brock selling for him. And also, was rumored Seth. Seth, I'm more believable against Brock. But I'm so a little leery how much Brock will sell for him. So, Brock didn't even sell for Roman at WrestleMania.
However, he sold the shit out of the knee for AJ.
Yeah, so, like, I feel like Seth's more believable against Finn. See, with unlimited time now on the videos, I have more time to wait.
Yes.
So, like, the best option is just to get it over and done with his Bray.
Yeah.
Because we know he's not going over.
No. You might as well just throw him out there and destroy him.
Unless they're really doing something with Matt and Bray. Like, Bray leads to Matt being broken or woken. Unless that really is something.
Which, on Monday, it definitely did look like it.
Yeah, so...
The way Matt's been tweeting recently.
Yeah, so otherwise, don't... If the storyline is Bray behind that, then don't even put Bray against Brock. Because they need to ruin that storyline for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is where I feel like Cena is one of the better options. I don't want to see it personally live, but if it's going to protect somebody like Finn, or somebody like Joe, or Braun, or Seth, then I'm okay for it, because it's the Rumble. You can really do... The key to the Rumble is you can do any title match you want, because the Rumble sells itself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
I know. Oh, it is. In this case, normally when I say that, that's a good time to use a mid-card to see if they could perform well in a title match. But the way they book Brock matches, maybe sometimes it's good to use a main event. It's good to use an established main eventer to do that. The best option would be not to have either main championship on the line and just go with the rumor earlier in the week and just do part 2 of AJ and Brock. At least you'd have Brock will sell for somebody.
If you want to add something a little different to the match, have it be for
the main event
of WrestleMania.
Yeah, because the winner of the Royal Rumble doesn't main event anymore anyway, so that's not... The last time the winner of the Rumble main event was... Well, not count Triple H's win. Oh, sorry. It was Roman. So, right. But then before that, it was Batista.
Technically, Batista did.
Oh, it was Cena. Okay, so the winner of the Royal Rumble does still main event for a majority. But me personally, I just say do Brock and Roman in Philly. Now, at this point, save
However, before that, Sheamus opened up Mania.
Right, yes, that is true. I said Alberto Ria.
Yes.
And Edge was like in the middle of the card.
Yeah.
Okay, so they are a little better in recent years with the track record of main event WrestleMania. Huh. Okay, so my bad. Oh,
and before that would be Orton who main evented.
Yeah, so okay, I was wrong, but I just say in this case, like AJ, if he's defending the belt, that would be a good time to say like Sammy for AJ.
Yes.
I will say Elvis, but we just got off the United States Championship feud with them all summer, so I might switch up and say like Sammy. See what he could do in the main event picture. Yeah. But in Roll's case, it shows it might have to be the opposite.
No, watch, they'll give us Nakamura then, which I wouldn't mind seeing live.
Right. If they do that, there's probably AJ and Cena then at the Rumble. Yeah. I mean, WrestleMania. That's my That's my major problem with the Brock and Cena match. That if they're making Cena go for a 17, that's going to be the selling point. But the Universal could potentially be Cena 17th. But it will be if he won, which he won't. But if he did, it'll be his first time winning the championship. And that'll be considered his record breaker. That thing. That's actually my major concern. Cena's a good choice to protect Roll's main event stuff. Roll's full timers.
Yes.
Honestly, there is on my own role. I will like to see face Brock though. In all honesty,
no.
All Brock's people I want to see face are like Nakamura, Owens. Actually, if they break up by then, but Roll can't afford them to. I want my Brock versus Cesaro or Sheamus either.
That would. I would enjoy that, yeah.
Yeah, but they'll probably still be a tag team at that point because Roll needs teams.
Well, you know, they were talking about moving Cesaro over to SmackDown.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So, I won't mind that either, man.
Yeah, they're big guys. They hit hard. Brock can sell the crap out of it for them.
I said Sheamus gets stiff a lot.
I would probably see Heyman trying to lead more towards Cesaro for Brock. Which I would agree with, I would agree with a bit more. However, I think Sheamus would do well as well.
Next are 205 Live and NXT reviews. World General Manager Kurt Angle revealed how the number one contender for Enzo Amore. Cruiserweight Championship will be determined on our Monday show. And just like like a trivial storyline, development was bigger step in the right direction, so I realized 205 Live is only cruiserweights, but they're still part of the Raw roster. Having them appear more segments of the GLS research on Rare Brain will help me feel like divisions be taken seriously. You know, Angle pretty much admitted he didn't watch 205 Live.
Yeah, it does feel like 205 Live actually has a bit more in the line.
For at least the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Rich Swann won the first of 2 fatal 4-way matches on Monday. He wanted to go for one second fatal 4-1 next week's Raw if he was on television. Open up was Rich Swann versus Noam Dar. Enzo Amore and Noam Dar opened the show by bragging about the success of his Zo-trained followers. Rich Swann took on Dar in the open match, and Amore criticized the stable for allowing Swann to win the fatal 4-way match. These two have been numerous times at single belt, so they know each other well on the showtime to get in the ring. Having more ringside to distract Swann occasionally get Dar advantage, so he was able to overcome a few splash. Amore was visibly upset for his stable lane losing, wanting to get a win or risk being kicked out of the room. The outcome's predictable, but the action was entertaining enough. On commentary, Rick Joseph mentioned that this was the 1-year anniversary of 205 Live. Enzo's mic was off during his entrance. During his entrance, and nobody could hear him. The show immediately comes out a recap from last week, so we didn't have to see him mouthing words into it then. And it looks like Enzo's going to be one of those champions who barely ever wrestles like Jinder was. Was just a smart way to hide his shortcomings.
Yes. It's technically what they should have done in the first place and not actually have him drop the belt to Kalisto just to get it back. I think you create more heat for Enzo if he doesn't actually defend it all that much on TV, and when he does, he gets it just barely through nefarious means.
Right. Okay, apparently we all have no comments about the match.
The match was fine, I guess. It doesn't really stick in my mind for this week, though.
Up next, Jack Gallagher versus Kalisto was actually the best thing on the show.
Yeah.
The Brian Kendrick coming Jack Gallagher ring for match against Kalisto. The former Cruiserweight Champion was over direct on track to lose it to the Morai Survivor Series. Gentleman Jack controlled the first 2 minutes of the match in a series of submissions and punched and strikes to keep his high flying opponent grounded. The Lucha Dragon eventually made a comeback and hit his big signature moves to get the crowd back in the match into a few slow minutes. Just as it looked like he was going to win, Kendrick attacked Kalisto and caused a disqualification. This match had more technical prowess than Swan versus Dar, but wasn't given as much time. Gallagher is developing a nice scale. Every good British villain has one.
Yes.
And
every good villain under the Regal school of wrestling.
Yes. You'd think it would be hard to wrestle in dress shoes, but Gallagher actually pulls it off too.
And his pants are pretty tight too.
Yeah, so.
I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
And no promo for Hideo Tommy's upcoming debut into this match. And Nigel McGuinness was one of the best strikers in the business.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the match was pretty good. I kind of wish they didn't waste it. Almost. I think it's one of the few matches the Cruiserweights actually had that actually wasn't done before.
Well, I guess we could say, to be fair, that will be anything for Kalisto.
Yeah. It's true. But I probably would have held it off for a kickoff pay-per-view and just had Enzo have a big match on the card itself. It was a pretty good match.
And the main event, Tony Nese and Drew Gulak versus Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. The Fortune Pirates, these four will compete in the next one, so forward. So far in a tag match that closes the show, Zo Train members Tony Nese and Drew Gulak team up to take on Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander. While their interests are turning on the line, Ali and Alexander had a confrontation backstage about who will become the #1 contender. All four of these are good wrestlers, but they can only do so much when they are thrown to repetitive situations. It feels like we have a standard combination of tag team matches the Cruiserweight division could give us. Nese and Gulak scored a winner. There's some confusion led to Ali knocking Alexander on the apron. They were getting rolled up by the premier athlete. This match could be much better considering the talent involved, but it was nice to see Nese and Gulak have their hands raised for once. Gulak's definitely the most enthusiastic person ever put together a PowerPoint presentation. His devotion to this gimmick is amazing, and it has made him one of the bright spots in the division. The crowd chanted PowerPoint at the start of the match. That probably never happens at any Microsoft events.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was trying to figure out why didn't Enzo accompany Nese and Gulak to the ring. I'm wondering if he's playing favors within the stable.
Yeah, that could be true. Yeah, Gulak is easily becoming one of the best things about the Cruiserweights in 205 Live. I've always heard the best gimmicks are when the performer jumps headfirst straight into the character and just go balls to the wall with it. That's what Gulak's doing, and it's very entertaining.
And now NXT, on the same night WWE taped the next few months of NXT television, the brand's weekly television broadcast series was show consisted of a few live event matches that had little to no effect on the ongoing stories of rivalries. United Kingdom champion Pete Dunne, Mark Andrews battled Tyler Bate and Trent Seven in a tag team main event, while Kyrie Sane battled Peyton Royce in a singles competition. Only the showdown between the Street Profits and the team of Team Sabatelli and Rick Moss was of any significance to the stories that they played out in the weeks prior. And the show, the Street Profits, Team Sabatelli and Rick Moss. The rivalry between the Street Profits and Team Sabatelli and Rick Moss continued this week as the heels sought retribution following a loss a few weeks back. Moss and Sabatelli controlled the match, wearing down a smaller Montez Ford before hot tag Angela Dawkins jumpstart babyface comeback. The tandem delivers trademark spinebuster frog splash combination square victory. This was a longer sign match for Street Profits than what fans used to in the weekly squash battles. The match show was about par, but the pre-contest and the outcome was the same. Dawkins and Ford will be the major players in the NXT tag team division, and eventually the main roster. But most Sabatelli have developed strong tag team chemistry, and should get a chance to demonstrate it once sooner rather than later.
I'll actually say it's probably a step above what they did in the past. I'm actually going to lean towards the side of it is probably both teams' best match so far.
A lot of that has to do with length.
Yes.
This is going like 10 minutes.
Yes.
Up next, Kyrie Sane versus Peyton Royce. Fresh off a disappointing TakeOver War Game special in which You know, was able to make actually want to hear more results. Disappointing for them was. And these was able to actually win the championship. Kyrie Zane, Payne Royce squared off in a singles competition. ECW winning catapult back into the discussion. Zane outclassed Royce early, catching over the head scissors takedown, but a well-timed bit of influence from Billy Kay allowed a heel Aussie to seize control. The perfect 10 from Australia. That's Ty Dillinger's girlfriend.
Yes.
Royce dominated the.
On one of her pictures from Instagram this week, he asked her if she wanted to go on a date. It was kind of sweet.
Oh, he must like her.
Yes.
Royce dominated the middle portion of the match, but the Pirate Princess are actually forward back in the match, delivering a stiff kick to the back of her head and her opponent right with her insane elbow. This is a tape house show match, and the quality did kind of reflect that, considering who was in it.
Yeah.
It was kind of bare bones. It didn't know if it really helped or hurt either of them. It did provide a happy ending with Sane Silence from my opponent continuing to win ways. This whole competition was fun, but it was hardly consequential for them.
Yeah, it was a typical house show match. It was sort of a simple ending and simple match compared to what the two can do. Yeah, so I'm going to lean towards the side of they weren't initially planning this match to be televised, and we're just taping it just in case they needed it for their future episodes. So, but it was still a decent enough match because it's these two performers.
And main event, Trent Seven and Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne, Mark Andrews. Tyler Bate and Trent Seven returned after just 2 weeks and attempted to defeat it. 2 months. It returned to Pete Dunne join them in war with Dunn Sciarra. Their opponents is that same Dunne and the rarely seen Mark Andrews. Andrews and Dunn scored their advantage, worked out 7, and Kieran isolated from the former United Kingdom champion Bate. The session between Andrews and Dunn led to 7 season opportunity to lay the current UK champion out and make the hot title Bate. The former champion delivered a superstar performance that nearly put Dunn away and preserved the victory. Bate ultimately delivered the title driver 9-7, so his rival for the win. I thought it was a very good match. It was a very good house show style match. Obviously, these 4 were holding back too from what they could do. It was a very good house show style match.
Yeah.
The move of the match though was, I believe it was Mark Andrews at Hurricane Rod.
Yeah, and Pete Dunne caught him with the powerbomb.
Yeah, to top of the powerbomb. Yeah. Like every other match on the show, though, it was a 4-way episode actually this week.
Yeah.
This was 4 guys wrestling a rad one-dimensional match, but a very good version for a house show.
Yeah.
It did appeal in comparison to their previous matches, obviously. The house show aspect for them did kind of lessen the stakes and kind of quality. Yes, it was inconsequential though to the ongoing story between Seven and Bate. So, unless this is how Tiebreak gets his title shot, because they did tape.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's what they used to swear.
They pretty much are just going to focus on maybe the results of the match,
right?
And then not actually what happened, but just the results. Like, hey, Tyler Bate pinned Pete Dunne in their tag team match.
Mm-hmm.
He gets his rematch clause. Kyrie pinned Peyton.
She's next in line. The
Street Profits pinned Tino and Riddick.
So they're right behind.
Yeah.
Undisputed Era and Sandy.
Yeah.
And Ultimate Pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're in the same spot.
Yeah. The matches were all for this week. The matches were all good.
Main event was the best.
Yeah,
match.
I'm gonna guess it was a relatively last minute decision to air matches from this house show.
Yeah, because the tape was scheduled so we were taping the Wednesday after Takeover. They waited a week after.
Yeah.
So they taped this week. So which would never technically air the first week to tape it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was that weird. It was the week of Thanksgiving. Remember, it was the Wednesday for Thanksgiving. They would have taped. So these were probably scheduled to air.
Yeah.
But these went up in the matches they hadn't originally had full about here. Like, but overall, that was still better than the whole world was. So,
that's true. You know, a really Bush League. When I think I just thought of something. Does the light look better?
No.
Yes, it does.
You could just move the lamp to shade.
Well, it was simpler to flick the switch.
He could just be the lampshade because I have a huge spotlight
Yes.
in my basement.
But then we'll have a huge spotlight right in our face right here.
Up next is the Bash at the Beach 1998 review. For
We're Bush League.
Well, he's Bush League.
Yes. And barely in the frame. There we go.
I guess.
Yes. Still barely in the frame.
There we go. I was right the first time.
Yeah.
We're so Bush League.
God bless you guys for sticking with us this long.
If you say throughout this video, get yourself a cookie.
Yeah.
Because you still got like an album left.
If you ever meet us in public, tell us that you sat through these videos and we'll shake your hand.
Yeah. Because you probably still got like an hour left.
Yeah.
With these reviews. That should be 1998. Yes, there was WCW reviews this week, and I'm sorry for that. But
well, I wasn't planning on doing on this one being a WCW one. I did plan yours that you had to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I'm sorry for is if the review's off track. But I tried to keep these reviews relatively in the range.
As Bret Hart says, it's WCW.
But you're ready for a long 7-hour rant at the end of my pay-per-view. But first on the Bash at the Beach 98 is
It's probably a rant on me, to be fair.
Date was July 12th, 1998. Happy birthday to all you July 12th people. Location was in the Cox Arena in San Diego, California.
You can already make jokes out of that.
I'm being good. Attendance was 10,095. Commentators, Tony Schiavone, Mike May, and Bobby Heat. Tonight is all about the celebrities. As the main event is DDP and Carmelo versus Hulk Hogan and Dennis Rodman. We've also got a football part, Kevin Green versus the Giant Wells, supposed to be a tag match. The original partners are in the world title match, as new champion Goldberg defends against Kurt Hennig. The mid-card matches should be solid, meaning this has potential to be something good. So let's get to it. The open video focuses on the 3 major matches tonight, with some shots of the beach as well.
It's the typical terrible WCW production intro video.
The set is the usual intricate beach setting with sand like our towers and beach balls,
which I love.
And the announcers wearing hula shirts is a nice touch as well. We get an intro for the announcers. Brian Mel, the media attention that shows again. There's nothing wrong with that. Gina in a white tuxedo hypes up the hotline. Raven versus Siren. Under Raven's rules, of course. Siren's in trunks now instead of jeans. That's very important.
Yeah. Before you start the match, what exactly are Raven's rules so we can get that clear?
No disqualification. That's what I thought.
Okay. It's their disqualification.
Raven, of course, has Riggs and loaded with him, the latter being dressed like Hat Guy. Siren meets him in the All Star and moves Raven into the barricade very hard. Siren slips on the top for a bit, but comes out with a quick missile drop and put Raven down. An ankle lock is quickly broken by Raven grabbing the ropes. Even though there are no rules, so there's nothing the referee can threaten Siren with. Raven avoids a leg drop and hits a quick knee lift to put Siren down for a breather. It's already table time. Tony, with this jump, he's got a cheer.
When someone's bringing out a table.
But Raven gets crushed while trying to suplex Siren to the top and through the table. They head to the floor. Raven and the Russian lace him into the barricade with 2. Even when Raven's feet on ropes, Raven's sleepers count by Joel Breaker and because they're down again. Siren's up first with some kicks in the corner, suplex, take over. Now it's cheer time, complete with jokes from Heaton at Tony's expense. With Siren hitting his spin, springboard leg drop on the Raven onto the cheer for 2. Siren takes out Riggs and Lodi, but crushes McPatrick in the corner with a springboard leg lariat in the corner. After the 4 down, Raven being bulldozed into the steps. Siren sets up another table next to on top of the original Raven in between. But here's Canyon to turn on Siren, pulling Raven out from between tables.
By the way, it was really early, and Saturn still had to jump through the table.
Mm-hmm.
So it looked really, really awkward.
We hit the shades of gray as Canyon takes Raven inside and gives him the flatliner onto the chair. Riggs rolls his Siren and pulls Raven on top for 2. Siren comes out with a Death Valley driver to Riggs, but the even flow is enough for the pin for Raven.
This match is good in parts. It's mainly the ending that sort of left a little awkward taste in my mouth from this match. One starting with the table spot. Canyon was either early before Saturn was ready to actually jump, where Canyon literally it literally did look like he pulled him out,
Mm.
got Raven like a safe distance away. Saturn was looking at them the whole time and still jumped. And then after that, instead of just slaying out Raven and having the Flock have Raven put his arm on Saturn, the match actually continues for a couple moves, making it sort of anticlimactic almost.
Mm-hmm.
It was good in parts, so I'm not absolutely gonna fail it, but I'm gonna say it could have been better, and I think the ending sequence brought it down.
The match was fun, but as usual, they're not actually going over with all this stuff.
Yeah.
So many futures going circles and that doesn't help anyone. And then Tang and Saturn need to do something soon to capitalize on all these moments apparently they've been having. But it seems like they're going to be doing the same stuff they've been doing for months.
My rating for the match was a C.
I give it a C as well. This is one of my highest rated matches. So.
Yeah. By the way, before we continue, after watching this pay-per-view, I realized the trend about all my previous WCW reviews, and that not one pay-per-view has gotten above an F. Yeah.
Here's Eddie told about Chavo's match with Stevie Ray before his Here vs. Here match with Eddie. This is the first match of Stevie being involved in a pay-per-view, which might be a good idea. Eddie says Stevie's going to destroy Chavo and Eddie will pick up the pieces. Juventud Guerrero versus Kimmy. This was supposed to be Hoovy versus Reese too.
Is this the time where Juventud was supposed to be the giant killer?
Yes, but so we did Timon. So
much better call.
Timon looks much cleaner than usual at this point.
Yeah, I think they're trying to sell that he's about to leave the Flock soon.
They lock up the start with Timon taking over headlock. Both guys hit the ropes a few times and they flip to the stalemate. Timon gets chopped against ropes and takes down my head scissors. Louie pulls Hoovy to the floor for a quick beam. Like Timon takes on his Flock mate on dive. Hoovy slides out again, hits a huge dive to take both guys down. Back then, Kimmin slams down before taking it right back to the floor. Hoovy's dropped first across the barricade, but Kimmin misses his charge on the apron to set himself crashing into the barricade as well. They head to the apron with Hoovy hit his sunset bomb and slam Kimmin onto the floor. Again, the fans, of course, get on Louie and start paying attention to the match. Hoovy first on inside again, stomps Kimmin in the corner bit before he'll load up a top rope Penta Colorado. Kimmin counts a low blow and a top rope style spinebuster, I think later known as called the K Crusher, for a big crash. And two, back up, Kimmin chops Whip and gets roll up for two. They head to the corner, then Kimmin gets crushed on the top rope, allowing Hoovy to hit springboard Hurricane for a close two. Kimmin's Bulldog gets the same and they trade rolls for two. The Hoovy driver gets two, but Kimmin slams it down to sell to 7-year-ish. Hoovy rolls away at the last second, though, and it's the 450 for the pin.
I really did like this match. It's my favorite match of the night. No, spoiler alert. I felt this was like the quintessential cruiserweight match for WCW. Cruiserweight WCW is awesome. WWF cruiserweight, at first it was good. Now it's really not focused on. But still, I thought this match was really good. It's considering the position Kidman was in at the time.
This was my match tonight too. Good match, shows you respect from these guys. Fingers not only fingers nowhere near their best, but it's better than Reese versus Hoovy. A little bit.
That definitely would have been better than Reese versus Hoovy.
This would have been a good choice for the opener as the fans got into it.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of heat was directed at Louie, it was fun stuff though.
Mm-hmm. I gave the match a B+.
I gave it a B+ as well. This might be the highest rate I give it the W match.
Yeah, that may be the sad fact.
Actually, no, there is one match on Starrcade 1999 that I do give in the ace.
Oh, wow.
It's the match you walked out the room for. On Sunday night. Cone Hayes on WCW.com told him about his family eating fish tacos.
Right.
Stevie Ray versus Chavo Guerrero Jr. This is a result of a one-off conversation between the two on Nitro. Chavo has a super soaker and an inflatable duck around his waist. Eddie comes out to watch and Chavo dedicates the match to him. Chavo was contact for a while before for a handshake. Stevie shakes his hand and Chavo submits. For some reason, Stevie's mad even though he won.
Um, I like the idea of it because Chava's supposed to wrestle twice in one night, and there's no.
And Chava's character, he's right before this Pepe around this point. So
Yeah.
Chava's a little
he's crazy.
So yeah,
he's out there. I actually. I liked it pretty much. I thought it was smart, and it helped Chava get one over Eddie before they actually fought.
You're not in time zone. You're not like in the Twilight Zone.
Yes.
And we're about 45 minutes right into this pay-per-view or so, and WCW has been getting a compliment.
I'm not gonna say it was spectacular enough for me to grade.
What was it? It was like seconds.
Yeah, it was less than seconds. It seemed like.
Yeah, time for the Hero vs. Hero match, and A is livid. A Guerrero vs. Chavo Guerrero Jr. Loser gets Hero. They allow A leapfrogs someone to be bitten on the tights, send him out to the floor. Back in A, it's just the referee looked at the injury, but Charles Robinson is just fine, thank you. Now Charles wants to dance a bit. A frustrated A kicks the turnbuckle, injures his foot, sending him out to the floor. A first in chair, but Charles is down on it and asks A to come in. They sell down a bit. A gets wants to DCS for a handshake. Charles takes his hand, pulls A into clotheslines as we actually get that one. A hides in the corner at the referee's knees, but gets bitten again as the comedy continues. A finally drop kicks the knee out and sends Chavo into the corner to take over. Some shoulders to Chavo's back in the corner and have him in any more trouble. And a gut buster puts him down again. A low drop kick sets up a slingshot heel to stay on Chavo's back, and then Nephew's in trouble. There's a gory special in the middle of the ring, but Chavo gets his legs free and clothesline or pat down. We had come close on Chavo for a bit before A fires with some chops. Against ropes, Chavo was dropping and scores with a tilt world backbreaker and put A down. A pulls the trust to send Chavo to the floor and pull back the mask. The brainbusters counter and Chavo supports him down to the exposed concrete. Back in, Chavo goes on again but gets crushed down some by A's superplex. Back up and Chavo loses A over his head, face first into the turnbuckle. But Chavo's frog splash, A's tornado. Chavo's frog splash says these A tornado DDTs. That's Chavo's finisher. Push Chavo down, and A goes for the scissors. That's not cool, little mace. So A tries the frog splash to a similar result. Now Chavo goes for the scissors, but the referee takes on White, allow A to get a roll off from the pin.
I also like this match as well. I probably wouldn't put it on as an in-ring classic, especially with two Guerreros involved. But for what it was, I thought it was good.
So no surprise, this was a good match. Chavo actually grew up a lot in this feud, and his matches were getting better and better over time. I kind of did Chavo being the crazy yet brilliant with stuff like the handshake submission earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He's going from nothing to interesting character, which was ideal.
B-.
B. Post match, Chavo grabs electric clippers and shaves his own hair off. He offers to cut A's as well so they can be twins. Chavo, you don't want to cut my hair. Well, it's like Chavo cuts his own hair and shaves the whole thing off. We get a few moments during the haircut as Tony talks. The main event is up next.
Yeah, he does.
Before done with the full recap of Jerk versus Malenko. Instead of either of those, we get this. Disco Inferno versus Conehead.
Why? I don't know.
This is a bonus match. Disco is officially from Funky Town. Before the match, Alex and Disco imitate Conehead in an unfighting bit. Nash and Luke come out Conehead, which is some serious overkill. They're just a comedy tag team, guys. Nash and Conehead do their full entrances and talking business for clearly film time now. Conehead takes it down with ease and stomps on Disco's back. An X Factor to roll lariat, pulls in front of him down again, but Wright pulls him to the floor for an attack. Luger racks Alex, allowing Nash to jackknife Disco. Conehead pulls on the tequila Sunrise for an early submission. That's 3 people interfering in a 2-man match and no backstory for those who keep track. This is why we need an all-interview.
However, if the match actually had gradable length, I'm pretty sure it was going to fail. So, yeah, for it being the length it was, it saved it in my eyes to not grade it.
Up next, Kevin Green versus the Giant. Green is very fired up here. He rolls away from the Giant, starting to see him and slap to the face. Giant growls at him, so Kevin bails to the floor. Green kicks starts to cross shots. They come back in with a pound away in the corner. The fans are into this, and it helps like Green probably get a job on his looks and throws him alone. John catches him with a beer hug, though, and spine busters him down to take it over. A Goldberg chase starts up, so Giant pounds Green to head out of anger. Back up, and Giant chops away as Tony talks about the Georgia Dome show. Damn, 39,919 people. Every source I can find says there's over 40,000. So why would WCW understate it?
WCW did have a tendency of doing that a few times.
Yeah.
If you read the Death of WCW book, it's Brian Alvarez's. I would completely recommend you read it if you're a big wrestling fan.
Or listen to the audio version.
Or, yeah, you can also listen to the audio version. They had a tendency of doing that for some reason. Where WWE would actually do the smart thing, like, say, if it was 15,000, they would say it's actually 20,000. WCW, for some reason, would say, if they had 15,000 people in that arena, they would say 12,000. Like, for some reason, they had a track record of doing such things.
Yeah, I never.
Why? I have no idea. But they would.
Anyway, Green snaps Giant's third across the ropes, but gets headbutt right back down. They head to the floor. Giant getting face first into the barricade a few times before him back inside. Kevin has a topper forearm and drop Giant for 2, and it's time to go for the knees. That lasts about 2 seconds for a Green charges into a chokeslam in the corner for the pin.
Surprisingly, it was decent action from Kevin Green's side. He actually felt like he knew what he was doing, at least. The match, it wasn't special, but I do give Kevin Green an A for effort, so it manages to be somewhat okay.
Before I get to my grade, I'm going to say it's going to be a little very Justice Steel.
Yeah.
Considering Green is not a wrestler. Friday night, and this was some very impressive stuff. Green did look completely comfortable out there, and there wasn't a single time where he looked lost. If he wasn't an incredible football player, I guess he had a career in wrestling for sure. Entertaining stuff here again.
And I'm giving the match a D+.
I gave it a C+ for the Justice League. Hayden says Goldberg doesn't have the heart to do it. We recap Jericho vs. Malenko with a video from Nitro. Show Malenko get handcuffed for attacking Jericho during insults about Dean's dad. We still don't know who Jericho's opponent is tonight, so he comes to the ring with a cane. While we're on top hat, as he promised to do. He teases a soap shoe, but here's JJ to interrupt. Dylan thinks he might have made a mistake about Jericho, but we have an opponent. He has been in the ring for 6 months. Bobby had a DQ match, like it was supposed to do with Malenko. Jericho bringing out the jobber. Cruiserweight title, Chris Jericho versus Roman Jr. Ray's clearly limping on in the white ring.
Yeah.
But he has a very muscular physique at this point from when before being injured.
Yeah, like he did look like he was working out and may have worked out a little too hard on leg day.
Ray fires off on forms and corner drop kicks Chris in the ribs. Jericho builds to the floor for a breather, but comes back in to go after the band-aid. They have the aisle and fight the lifeguards before Ray runs him down onto the irritating Tony's form. Same. Back in, and Jericho rolls through a high cross behind for 2 before hitting something like a top rope power slam no cover. Jericho grabs a chair and goes into the knee, but spends too long mocking Ray, allowing him to getting some shots to Jericho's knee. The West Coast pop is badly botched.
Yeah.
To the point it looks like a powerbomb on Ray. He builds the ropes to borderline terror, but here's a suspended Dean Malenko. The distraction lets Ray sample for her and Karov for the pin and then title.
I'm going to say this. It was a good match. However, it's sort of disappointing for Ray and Jericho in their rivalry. If you go in 2009 in their summer feud with Jericho and Ray, it's excellent. Each match is fantastic. Even some other WCW Cruiserweight matches, I believe, are also really good as well with these two. It's just this one is sort of disappointing. It's really good. I'd watch it 1,000 times, but for these two, it's kind of disappointing.
Actually, for me, it didn't really work very well.
Oh, really?
It's not a horrible match, but Ray looked rusty out there for me. The crowd was happy to see him, but they put themselves in a corner with Dean. He needs to get his friends with Jericho and be done with it. But this just sets the story out for even longer. Hopefully, Ray just bear with some more ring time. He does.
I gave this match a B-.
I gave it a D+. Post-match, Dean chases Jericho back, and Anderson slows Jericho down, allowing Malenko to get some shots. TV title, Booker T versus Bret Hart. Booker is defended, and they're being goaded into the match by some Brick chair shots. Brick is taking the mat, but comes out with right hands to the face takeover. A snapmare gets two for Booker, and he sends Brick out to the floor. Brick comes out with a whip into the barricade, and we head back inside for our first shots on Booker's brace knee. Booker grabs a quick spinebuster for a floater 2 count, but Brick backdrops him out to the floor. Back then, Brick stays on the knee before getting 2 for Russian leg sweep. Booker gets stomped down the corner, but comes back. On a quick side kick on the flapjack, there's a spinning Rudy, but Booker doesn't snap to his feet, as he usually does. The missile dropper gets 2 as Brick gets his full of the ropes. Brick goes outside and grabs a chair to stop and dive in Booker for a DQ.
Well, before I go into how I felt about the match, there was actually a weird trend going on in the show where I'm not talking about just hardcore match because obviously weapons make sense there, but in some other matches, refs were like very lenient with chair shots, whether it be like on the knee or on the back or something. They're even a little lenient with countouts as well. Because Ray and Jericho literally, they went to lifeguard stand.
Yeah.
However, for some reason, this match ends in DQ. I don't know why, because refs have been allowing chair shots the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
However, it seemed like they couldn't get anything going.
Yeah.
Maybe it was right around this time where he wasn't as motivated as he was in WWE, which is a common theme with Brett and WCW. But for the names involved, it's sort of also disappointing. Same thing with Booker and same thing with Ray and Jericho. It's same thing with Booker and Brett in this match. You would expect a lot better. It wasn't absolutely terrible, but still you would expect better in the names.
Well, that happened. Really, there isn't much else to say about this match. The match is just Brick doing some stuff. Booker coming back and Brandon with the cheer. Bray is probably at the top of the list of guys who are wasting ICW. As he went from WWE champion to losing in a lower card title match inside of 8 months. That's impressive even by WCW standards.
My rating for the match was a C-.
No, I gave it a D+. Brick goes after the knee with the cheer and cracks over his first knee. He hooks the Heartbreaker around the post. And C-Ray takes his sweet time in making it.
That's pretty cool. Figure 4 around the post.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know he actually had a name for it. I thought it was just a figure 4 around the post.
Big O and Goldberg's big night on Monday. WCW World Title, Goldberg versus Kurt Angle. No room for the challenger tonight. Goldberg runs him over, start and hits a kind of release by Billy. Sending Kurt in the corner. Goldberg uses his legs to take Hane down, and Kurt bails up 4. Back in, Goldberg charges into the boot in the corner, but Hane gets caught in gorilla press power slam. Kurt goes in. Kurt goes into the knee with a chop block and some cannonballs. The Hane plex gets 2, and it's a spear and jackhammer to retain the title.
I sort of do go back and forth this match. For Goldberg's first title defense, I'm not sure.
Underwhelming.
It's an underwhelming opponent. Kurt Hennig is a fantastic wrestler. In WCW, for Goldberg's first match, I don't think I would have given him Kurt Hennig. I probably would have tried to lean towards more Scott Hall, since it sort of would make sense, because Monday he beat
Scott
Hall then to get to Hogan. I guess that's where I'd lean more towards. However, for the match, what we got, it's probably the best we could have actually gotten Goldberg.
Yeah, Goldberg was.
Yeah, especially at this point.
In '98 wasn't as good as he was in 2016.
No. And Goldberg in 2016 probably couldn't wrestle over 5 minutes.
Right.
There were a reason why him and Brock matches were so short, minus the one from 20 that sucked. But it's also, at this point, it's probably the best you can get of Goldberg, and Kurt Hennig is an amazing bumper. So I sort of go back and forth with this match, and I'm okay with it.
All those old Goldberg matches that listen to whatever I said about any of those. I swapped them out with whatever the opponent's name for Kurt Hennig.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Just because it was They kept it short, and when they needed to, I ended up giving it a C.
I give it a D. It's our title on paper.
Yeah.
We recapped the main event without words.
Yeah, their production videos are amazing.
Basically, the baseball players don't like each other because they played in the finals twice in a row.
I actually looked it up. There was some sort of incident where they got tangled up on the floor. That's about it.
And Hogan says something about Paige at the DP. Dynamite Series Carmelo versus Dennis Rodman and Hollywood Hogan. Paige and Malone have matched at a tire which looks like they jump into a vat of hot glue with their jeans on. There's like this spandex hop.
However, I will give Malone the effort of actually getting in wrestling gear, unlike Rodman.
They come out to some hip hop song. Then, not on the WWE Network version. That kept saying "Fill the Bank." Malone looks like he was carved out of granite while Ramen is in t-shirt and jeans.
Yeah.
The baseball player's good as going. But first Hogan has to take off Ramen's glasses. Ramen rips to hide and fingers all over him. That works so well that they do it a second time. A Texas strip doesn't happen within 2 minutes into the match. Ramen grabs a headlock and bails to the floor when Malone charges at him. Also Hogan for a pose down with Hollywood getting frustrated. Malone hooks a kind of standing chin lock. Imagine like a left arm rock bomb, but he like collapses his hands together and squeezes.
Yeah.
Before slamming Hogan down. We're 5 minutes in now, it's up the page. DDP has Ramen and shoves him both down and lock up. A shoulder pulls Ramen down again as the stolen continues. They spit at each other and Ramen arm drags him down. Somehow we're 7 minutes into this match. They hit the ropes a bit and collide to send both guys down. Back to the headlock by Ramen, but Page reverses it into one zone. The fans are clearly getting restless. Ramen leapfrogs Page twice and they collide again to give us more laydown. Malone comes in and kicks at Ramen and sends him over to Hogan for a tag. Carl hooks a top wrist lock and shoves Hogan to Matt. Hogan complains about hero pole and Ramen gets in a cheap shot to get to the whole time match idea for the first time. Hogan chokes a lot and slams Malone down before breaking the boot over Malone's eyes. Ramen comes in with some elbow drops and goes back to Hogan for a chin lock. Here's Ramen again for some double team and a belly back suplex from Hogan. Hollywood misses elbow down when it's hot tight Page. DDP comes in with top for close on to Hogan, but a cheap shot from Ramen lets them WWE take over again. Hogan chokes away in the corner, but with his boot followed by a run clothesline. Ramen comes in for the double boot and more choking before it's back to Hogan for right hands in the corner. Page is a quick elbow, but Ramen breaks at the tag time and pushes on a front face lock. Malone plays cheerleader on Abraham. We get the unseen and fan tag, like the unseen fan tag tropes to face the match out anymore. The big boot pulls Page down, but he avoids the leg drop as a hot tag to Malone. Clotheslines all around and put the WWE down. They both get slams. There's a double noggin knocker followed by Hogan's head onto the buckle. A big boot drops Hogan's ultimate Page for a run diamond collar. Hogan landed on his hands, making the move look horrible. Malone diamond cuts Rodman, but Disciple sneaks in with a stunner to Page, giving Hogan a pin and a face pop for some reason.
It was one of the weirdest matches I think I've seen, especially from a celebrity tie-in match. I'm going to say this. Rodman seemed like he actually was really serious about this. I mean, he dressed the part.
Malone.
I'm sorry, Malone. He dressed the part. He learned how to work rest holds, which I don't think other celebrities actually have to do.
Right.
I give him credit for it. However, I don't know why they're having him use rest holds. It's sort of an awkward position to put him in. For some reason they had him be the face in peril for probably the longest part of the match, which is also kind of questionable. I don't know why you don't have your professional wrestler DDP on that team play that role, and then have Malone get the hot tag and have him blow us away with what he's doing.
Right.
Rodman, in parts, was good. There was some instances where he was a little sloppy. It didn't seem like he cared as much about the wrestling aspect as Malone did. But overall, I didn't think he was bad. My main complaint about this match is that it's just weirdly structured, especially for a celebrity tag match. I don't know why Malone was the face and power for most of the match. I don't know why Rodman and Malone were doing rest holds. It's sort of weird. Yeah, it was weird. That's how I'm going to put it.
This is about what you knew was going to be. Though it could have been far worse. Malone was clearly taking it seriously, which is more than you can say for most celebrities in matches. Rodman looked like your usual celebrity wrestler.
Yeah.
Decent, the one or two really basic moves he used, but pretty worthless otherwise. I've read before that this was originally booked to go nearly an hour.
Jesus Christ.
Which makes you shiver and fear.
I mean, it was long as it was. It was like 30 minutes. And even that was insanely pushing it.
I guess Hogan needed this one as a thank you for the mainstream attention he brought in.
I guess. I guess they give it to Rodman because he's the celebrity that has the better chance of coming back around for WCW.
I guess.
I guess I can say that as a smarter move. It was weird, but for me on the sliding scale of celebrities, it wasn't bad. So I'm gonna give it like just not failing. I'm gonna give it a D-.
Okay, well that's good. I felt it. Malone gets disciple and the referee Diamond Collars, good ones too.
Yeah.
And the NWO celebrates that this is a big deal. The announcers told him it's the referee.
I just felt a little bad with the effort Malone seemed like he actually put in training and all.
Yeah, but the problem was Hogan did it. And for this match,
yeah,
the wrestlers didn't care, mainly Hogan.
So in the sliding scale, I literally gave it a D-.
Okay.
I probably would normally give it an F if it had been all former like full-time workers. The pay-per-view overall rating for me is a C-. The show had good parts and it had other parts, I guess I can say. Yeah, it's the first show that I haven't failed for WCW. But I wouldn't necessarily say, hey, you need to go see this show. It's the best show WCW ever put on. So that's probably a big lie. Yeah, it's the ending's weird and it makes a weird taste in my mouth.
I had to give it an F. This is the WCW pay-per-view formula, but a better version than usual.
Yes.
The earlier stuff is mostly good, while the main event crippled it. Though Goldberg's match is what the fans wanted to see. That was executed as well as it could have been. The problem with the company is the same as always, that the main stories aren't going anywhere. The tag match doesn't change anything here, and everyone involved in it now needs to start a new story. It's a good show overall, but as usual, turn off before the main event. Because it was a fine grade until that main event.
And yeah, it also doesn't help that it does take 1/6 of the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so now we'll choose our pay-per-view for next week. Whose turn is it to choose? WWE Survivor Series 2016.
We didn't do this with you.
Nah.
What you guys suggest?
Speaking of Goldberg, while superstars from Raw and SmackDown meet in traditional Survivor Series matches, Goldberg faces Brock Lesnar in a mega match. That may be putting it lightly, actually.
Yeah. I'll say you didn't hear our opinions on that match.
Yeah.
Which had differed throughout the year. Like, I can watch the Goldberg's 24.
I'd probably say it differed, like, that night, even.
True, yeah. And to watch the Goldberg's 24, though, I did make a complete turnaround.
Yeah.
So, in a good way.
Alright, so now...
The loser.
Review.
You just going to repeat everything I say?
Yes.
Starrcade 1999.
Starrcade 1999. I'm kind of like Austin in the Alliance.
Yes, I see.
Yes.
The date, December 19, 1999. Location, MCI Center, Washington, D.C. Attendance, 8,582. Compared to where they were just for a year and a half earlier for Washington Beach.
WCW would say it was 5,000 paid.
We have arrived. We have reached the biggest show of the year for WCW. Over the years, this show's a showcase for legends like Sting, Ric Flair, Lex Luger, and Hulk Hogan. There have been great matches, moments, and shows in general. Many of which have been some of WCW's best shows of all time. Now, forget everything I just said. Because this is going to be one of the biggest disasters in the history of, I will say, professional wrestling. But that has nothing to do with what I'm about to recap.
It's one of the biggest nights in their sport.
Professional wrestling has nothing to do with what I'm about to read.
No.
Back to you. So, just let's get to it. We open with a Scott Hudson Harry highlight package to preview the card. Up first in the package is the Revolution versus Jim Duggan and his mystery partners. I'm pretty sure our match gets some time here, but my goodness, they are off to a rousing start by making me think of all the impending disasters. Now we get a standard open video focused on the Powerbomb match, and then the World Title match. Up first, Disco Inferno and Lash LaRue versus Big Vio and Johnny the Bull. Disco lost a lot of money gambling, which I don't think he ever paid back, to the Mafia. So Don Boss, Tony Marinara, sent Big Vio and Johnny the Bull after him. Lash helped Disco out and basically started war against the mob. Set up this tag match.
I'm going to guess Russo watched a lot of Sopranos at the time.
It's also part of the match that's gotten the most build on the card. Because I watched all the shows leading up to this.
Oh, really?
To give you an insight.
Wow, you're dedicated.
So, yes, I care about our fan base, so thank you. And, well, all the Nitros, I didn't bother watching the Thunders because they really got on.
Did you also watch all the Nitros for Bash the Beach?
No, because to be fair, most of the major stuff I did know, I was still watching WCW a good bit at the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's also prior to matches got most building card. Normally, we'll ask why match like this is open to show. But the more I'm afraid about, what else do they have? It's a brawl to start with Vio punching Lash down early on. Unlike suplex drops Lash again. And Vio nails a good-looking super kick. He and gets in all of his lines are open to interpretations. You wonder why the people in the back are so quiet. Hold to Johnny, who eats a drop kick from Lash. And gets a clothesline for Disco on one. Disco stomps on the corner, but Johnny switches the leg because he's the best in town. That's what they say. To take over. Vio scores a hard run clothesline, Johnny swinging up for a we hit the chin lock for a bit for something like a double powerbomb. Points Disco again. Vio spends too much time knocking the crown, all the ropes on his match, and land a hot tag to Lash. Aaron breaks down, the goons are dropping clotheslines, a girl pressure post Lash down, but he was a top rope spin leg drop. Disco is the top rope splash for two, but Vio comes off the top to break up the save. Granted, the real slow count made it a bit easier. Vio reverses a whip from Lash and sends him into the last dance from Disco by mistake. Sending out Vio's spinning DDT for the pin. Totally acceptable tag match here, but I feel we might have just seen the match tonight. We actually don't, but at this point. It's the old power speed formula, which is worth for Vampire Hour and work here as well. The story makes sense, but it's actually different for a change. But this could have been a little normal thing good Nitro. Still, though, totally acceptable. B-.
Wow. For Russo, alright. For a Disco match, you got a B-.
Post-match, just getting speed up and throwing in a buyback. A little with a bottle of ether. The mom takes him back to the parking lot and throw him in the car to take him away. Yeah, you had a compliment. Goldberg versus Hart is no DQ. And that was the stipulation beforehand I haven't heard. Scott holds out the U.S. title match due to a knee injury, so Benoit is the champion. The announcers run their rounds to fill time on the show with 13 matches. Keep in mind that this is coming to our backstage segment. Not only is it board for pay-per-view, it's letting the crowd calm down and introduce an opener. Cue Chris Benoit to say he doesn't want the title this way, so it's officially vacant. However, he'll still have the ladder match against anyone that wants to face for the title. Cruiserweight title, Medusa versus Evan Courageous. Evan is defending Medusa over sex to get this show. To get the shot, my chef. After she earned the shot by having sex, Evan dumped Medusa for Nitro Girl Splice, making this just an all-title match, but with man-on-woman violence because Russo is obsessed with the idea. Medusa dives up the top to take out Evan's Splice before sending him into the barricade. They head inside where Evan slaps her in the face and plants her with a power slam, only to miss a lion salt. Medusa dropkicks her down, but gets slammed off the top. A powerbomb puts Medusa down for 2, so Medusa powerbombs him right back. They head outside with Evan diving to Medusa, but Splice gets on the apron and distracts the champ. It's just a round though for the worst low blow ever. So Medusa's German suplex for the pin and the title. So not only did they have a swerve, they had one of the bare bones of a match, so this is nothing more than a spot fest with no flow to it. Yeah, Mysterio and Juventud will do a bunch of spots, but at least they knew how to make them exciting. This was less than 4 minutes long and more about the fact that Medusa is a woman. In all words, they were trying to recreate China without putting in the effort of building her up in DX all those years.
Yeah.
That's Russo's philosophy. Just go to the end goal without putting it into work, and then blame the fans for everything.
Yeah.
D-.
Yeah, it was kind of dull.
On the storyline front, let's recap what just happened to Evan. He was duped into giving Medusa a shot by the offer of sex. Then Medusa won the title shot again in triple threat. Then Evan got pinned on Thunder for no apparent reason. Then the other woman who was on the story to distract Evan turned on him to give Medusa the title for no reason after then to mess with Evan, who made a mistake of being champion going to a pretty girl who seemed interested. Medusa had cheated to win the title. So I'm not sure if she was some face or heel here, but I'm sure WCW didn't know either. So.
Vince Russo probably didn't know because he likes shades of gray.
Norman Smalley's dressed up like a Washington Redskin for his match with Ming. He certainly isn't scared and nor to scream when the producer tries to count him out of the interview. Sudden moves like that are just not necessary when Norman is a coiled spring ready to explode. Ignore the fact that the hardcore title is practically identical to the ECW title.
Yes.
Hardcore title, Ming versus Norman Smalley. Norman the counter is defended. They throw weapons at each other start before Ming shoves a cart full of weapons, runs Norman over. They send it back without Norman ever making it to the ring, and Norman blasts him in the head with cheer for almost no effect. Norman runs away from the catering room before Ming slams him for a table. Ming throws a cinder block at his head, but Norman avoids the whole death thing. Smiley dives behind some boxes to hide. Allow Finley and Brian Dobbs to come up. They always involved in these matches.
They really are.
And beat Ming down. Well, kind of, as Ming themselves a cheer and trash can shots, and the Philly Nielsen with a lead pipe to knock Ming silly. Norman comes out and covers for Kane.
Yeah, I remember I watched it with you, and Norman like hiding behind the boxes and catering is really funny. Namely because WCW's catering, that visual is kind of funny in its own.
And sad.
And Norm Smiley like almost taking the curtain down, just like crossbody style, just you just see him running.
Norman's got to try so hard, but can't get out of this hardcore nonsense. This is your standard hardcore match of Ming dominating Norman screaming a lot, but somehow escaping for title. In other words, it's your standard TV match being held at Starrcade because Russo doesn't know the difference between the shows.
No.
D. Ming beats up Nick Patrick for reasons. David Flair has a gold crowbar delivered to him and seems very happy. Oklahoma and Steve Williams are right. There's something more in this segment. Oh, wait, there is. As we come back to see the Misfits kidnap Oklahoma.
Misfits kidnap who?
Oklahoma.
Oh.
We recap Jim Duggan versus Revolution, which is based on the idea of the Revolution thinking they're a sovereign nation and wanted to deface the American flag. Bringing Duggan in makes sense here, but the powers that be said there's nothing to his love for America and made him a janitor. Because that's funny or something. Jim Duggan and Mystery People versus Revolution. It's Asia, Sarah, Malenko, Douglas here, and we have no idea who the partners are here. If Douglas wins, the Revolution has to be the janitor. If Duggan wins, the Revolution has to be the janitors for 30 days. But if Duggan loses, he has to denounce America. Duggan's partners are the Varsity Club, a team which has peaked in 1988 and 1989. In case you're like younger something, is Rick Steiner, Kevin Sullivan, Mike Rotunda, Noah Lay Meow, ECW's Kimona, as their cheerleader.
Yes.
Shane sits on commentary making it a handicap match. Dean and Duggan start things off, but Sauron comes in less than 10 seconds in. The Varsity Club gets in some cheese shots in the corner before Duggan hammers away forms to the back. Dean comes in then for an elbow to the face of the slam, followed by the 3-point clothesline for 2. Saturn gets the same off a missile dropkick as he points out that Douglas has to try to tag down. Just get to the swerve we all know is coming from here. Saturn misses a middle splash, but Dean has Jim in the head with a flag. Everyone comes in with a varsity club clean house, including Tanya Asia and the Tree Web before Sullivan's Von Renee. Then they turn on Douglas because Wells for the going over. Shane runs in for the pin as the varsity club keeps beating up Saturn on the floor. This is Starrcade, 1999. And they bring out the varsity club. If they were going for some kind of nostalgia history thing, they completely missed the point. As the varsity club biggest moment was when they were fighting each other. Assuming anyone will remember care about that in 1999.
Yeah.
As it is, it's just an unfortunate match capped off by a beatdown making Jim Douglas story. Was the match appeal here and who thought the one thing this should need was more people running around. Shane tells Douglas he has 24 hours before he has to renounce America. They drape the Revolution flag over him, only to take it right back off. The Miz just have Oklahoma in a shark cage to make sure he stays out of the Vampiro match. Vampiro versus Steve Williams. If Vampiro wins, he gets 5 minutes with Oklahoma. The Misfits will Oklahoma into the shark cage, but he has a headset on and can still do his Jim Ross jokes because that's screw sarcasm there.
Yeah.
This whole thing's stupid. Vampiro dives off the cage, take Williams out, and the brawl begins on the floor. They head inside with Oklahoma yelling at the commentators. Williams fires off his chops so Oklahoma shells chop over and over. Some 3-point tackles take off Vampiro's legs, followed by some chops. Oklahoma gets forced saying chop over and over. A belly-to-belly suplex sends Vampiro flying but brings in the Misfits. Williams cleans the house when he eats and suplex Vampiro down again. He hammers on Vampiro but shuts referee down. How have we had not had right tonight? For DQ, set up Vampiro versus Oklahoma. Senator Solution makes care of Vampiro so having to get beat up until the referee gets knocked down while Oklahoma gets to do the same joke over and over and over and over and over. I feel like iTunes on repeat. Saying this, but stop using this show for your own stupid jokes that aren't even funny in the first place. D. The 5-minute clock starts immediately. Oklahoma versus Vampiro. Security gets Williams out, apparently we're still waiting on Oklahoma to get out of the cage. Oklahoma gets him after about 2 minutes and kicks Vampiro in the head. More slow stomps connect before Vampiro has a single chop, only to have Oklahoma deal 2 straight low blows. A quick rock bomb drops Oklahoma and the Mist is coming for some shots, which the referee doesn't seem to mind. The nail in the coffin ends this mess. To recap, Vampiro needed the help of a punk rock band. How many of the fans actually know who they were? To beat Oklahoma, who beat the tar out of Vampiro for most of the match. Again, the announcers are going to push at the sake of someone like Vampiro, who may or may not be in pain, but he's an actual wrestler. Russo tells Hayden, Shane, LaPorta, and Creative Control that he has something big planned for tonight, so you can't quite focus on their match. That's what I was about I want to be trying to say building up for a few weeks, but they probably didn't know a few weeks ago. C. Ray tells Booker he won't have his back time. Harlem Heat and Midnight versus Kurt Hennig and Creative Control. The winning tag team is almost contenders, so Hennig and Midnight are just kind of here to fill in the roster. Because heaven forbid we just have a regular tag team match. My goodness, there's so many love to see some personal encounter started by him. I couldn't have missed those earlier. There's no secret, so it's a handicap match with more male and woman. Yep. Gerald, that's one of the Creative Control members' names. Gerald stops Booker in a corner to start before no selling spin kicks in the face. So much for this one, Jason Ty's show. We look at the ladder for later. I come back with Midnight in without seeing what happened in between. It's quickly back to Booker gets beaten down, but quickly gets her to tag Midnight for some drop kicks. Hayden clotheslines her out to the floor and the heels take her again. Back in, Creative Control takes over on Midnight. As Hudson tells about the big events of the night. The return to Varsity Club and Disco being thrown into a car. We get the old referee doesn't see the tag spot. See where it comes out, only to be sent to the back by Booker. Midnight gets slammed down. Patrick drops some elbows from Sid. The other Harrison.
Yeah.
He missed the middle top rope.
Did you really name them after Joe Briscoe and Pat Patterson?
Yes. He missed the middle rope top rope elbow though. Midnight gets over for the hot tag. It doesn't count. Nick Patrick was talking to Steve Ray. That's true, but they were looking at the tag. As in, Nick clearly realized he wasn't supposed to see it, and he continued to try to snap his head one time. So it doesn't look that bad, but it doesn't work. Hayden sees him with one object, not Booker silly for the pin and delay bell. As usual, this is an angle disguised as a match. On top of the match being boring for the most part, and yet another woman being there for the sake of being there. Midnight was fine in the actual match. I will say that. But the announcer spent the whole match talking about how awesome it was to have a woman in there, which just puts more attention on the fact that she's not a special. And the mistakes like Nick saying and tagging made this a huge mess. Also, I just don't care because I haven't given a reason here. These people are just characters of old development. It's very hard to get interested. We recap Jarrett versus Rose. Basically, Dustin returned as something resembling a child abductor.
Yeah, like a creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really weird.
But he decided he wanted to be Dustin Rhodes. Because that has such a great track record for him. Jeff thought it was funny that Dustin's dad got fired. So the feud began again, and of course it turned to a bunkhouse match to make him a Cowboys and hardcore. Dustin, wearing a Dustin Rhodes shirt, talks about the match, and Jeff jumps in the start. Jeff Jarrett, Dustin Rhodes. Jarrett runs Dustin's knee over with a wheelbarrow and hits him in the throat with a kendo stick. They slingshot the wheelbarrow before heading inside for the first time with Jeff taking a cowbell to the head. Well, you knew the bullrope, but cowbell were going to do well somehow. Some bell shots knocked Jarrett and announced him by hitting him in the head with a metal bell doesn't sound as good as front power in Jeff's face. Dustin pulls out a whip and nails both Jarrett and the referee before duct taping the referee to the ropes. Jarrett shrugs off a shot with some chaps. You think I care enough to react at this point?
No.
Kicks Dustin low as Kurt Hank comes in to untape the referee. We hit the sleeper as Jarrett tries to make this wrestle for reasons I don't understand. Dustin finally suplexes his way out and gets two of a boss face slam. Shattered Dreams connects, so Hank pulls the referee out too. That earns Kurt some Shattered Dreams of their own, and all three have the entrance. Dustin plants Hank with a bulldog, but Jeff climbs the ladder and plays him with a guitar for a pin. Okay, what else do you want me to say here? Two guys are feuding over someone not even working for the promotion anymore. Had long, by the showstanders, match, and the heel has someone else come in to basically make it him that match. The good guy fought back and then two beat him without anything interesting happening. Jeff Jarrett continues to not be over, but gets pushed to the moon. Did that huge winner of Dustin Rhodes because he beat a woman in the WWF. And that's clearly like porn to Russo.
Yep.
These guys weren't really putting in time effort, and it's clear no one's ever special has some kind of character behind them. It's just two old school solid guys having boring matches. That's not something I want to watch for 11 minutes. Dave Flair makes the headless teddy bear stroke the golden crowbar. Somehow there isn't a single bit of innuendo in that sentence.
It's straight out.
Why Dave is wearing a Halloween Havoc shirt isn't clear. Paige says his hands will have a crowbar in it, and then those same hands will give Flair a bang. Dynamite Station says Dave Flair. It's a crowbar on a pole match. This is like Russo's hit parade. If I had to pay $30 to see it. This match is due to David Stolk and Kimberly after Kimberly slept with Ric Flair instead of David. So yeah, we have sex, insanity, illogical stories, and a thing on a pole. Like I said, the hit parade rolls on. The crowbar is pitifully low, as anyone of average height, or below average height, could reach it from the mat. David sneaks up from behind with the gold crowbar, different from the one on the pole. But Lil Nate, who should be in Dave's corner in theory, takes it away. Because even if you're in the same carry your crowbar, you must follow the rules. The referee checks on Paige and says the match will be a forfeit, but Paige shows Penzer away and wants to go. We get to the opening bell and David hammers away because Hallows was going to be competitive. David counters and that flip and pushes Paige in the face with two. A clothesline gets the same as we're still waiting on any attempt at the crowbar. Flair has a low blow and puts on for forward and Paige runs over for a break. Flair gets the crowbar, misses a swing that East Diamond cover for the pin. Remember when Chris Jericho will lose and then go insane and beat the post with a cheer?
Yeah.
That's how I feel here. There was no reason for this to be on pay-per-view, or for this to be a gimmick match other than to make the match more believable. In other words, they can't have a good match without making a gimmick, and this match can't be good because it's a gimmick. Who other than Vince Russo can book a sub-4-minute match into a paradox while almost completely ignoring the gimmick to close the paradox in the first place? F. Paige gives him Milver Diamond Cover post match is about to hit with the crowbar, but they yet to be named Daphne. That was on the cover page for her. Paige leads instead of hit the crazy chick. Paige gives him He wants a beer. I don't drink Dalton, but I could use a hammer to the skull at this point. We recap Luger versus Sting, which has seen Luger treat Liz like garbage. More anti-woman porn for Russo. Which had her royal for Sting to help him. At the same time, Luger inadvertently cost Sting some matches and kept trying to make up for him, making it worse in the process. Their match sells for Liz's freedom, which she totally completely wants, of course. Title package for Sting. In the back, Sting gives Liz super high octanes. The steroid chase begins. And Luger quickly sends Sting outside. Some whips into the barricade have Sting in more trouble before some elbows get to. Sting no sells a ram into the buckle. Luger gets caught between slash from Sting and Liz. A double clothesline puts both of them down because of those 2.5 devastating minutes of action. Liz comes in and checks with Luger and sprays the mace of Sting, but it's silly strange because Sting actually outsmarted someone.
Sting actually realized someone's going to turn on him.
Even the announcers acknowledge how shocking this is.
Sting finally got one.
Sting makes his comeback against a top rope splash for 2. A pair of regular circle splashes on the sub to Deathlock. But Liz comes in with the bull bat for a very loud sounding shot.
Yeah.
To the Joel for DQ. I'm upgrading this because of the bat shot. And the string. Other than that, this was a big match with the whole thing not even breaking 6 minutes. This might be one of the bigger matches on the card. This changes stuff as Liz is free from Luger, but apparently wants to stay with him, making this whole thing Midwest time. Imagine that. D+. Luger pulmonizes Sting's arm post-match. Remember 2 years ago when Sting was in the biggest match in WCW history?
Yeah.
That was just 2 years ago. To recap, this is the 10th match on the show. And assuming you count Medusa as a heel, the third match where the heel didn't either win or get the latest life after the match. Those 3 are Vampiro and the Miz face beat up Oklahoma, who dominate the match. Pedro Day for a normal song or Ming were normal Australia Laguna match. Is there any doubt why Sandface will introduce halfway for? Excuse me 1 minute. Pat Phil Day, your time at WCW.
Well, WCW. It lasted until 2001. That would be just a year after less than a year after this. Maybe even months.
Sorry, allergies.
Even that.
We recap Sid versus Nash.
I wasn't going absolutely anywhere with that. You're not going to miss anything.
In the Powerbomb match. I've watched the show set this match up, and now I've watched the video, and I'm still not exactly sure why they're fighting. They fought a few times, but I'm not sure why they started in the first place. Again, I don't think WCW does either.
It's something with
other than
Nash is half the man Sid is, but Sid has half the brain that he does.
Other than, hey, they're both big.
And they got power bombs.
Oh, yeah, that's part important.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of nice. You win by using power bomb instead of pure submission because we couldn't just have your guy do a real job for the sake of probably some legal deal, actually. Nash takes over to start and hits the frame elbow and side slam for 2. A low blow breaks up Sid's power bomb time. It's time to go outside so they don't have to wrestle. Sid hits him in the back with a chair, but stops to tell the fans to shut off. Good group, dude. At least knowing what you're supposed to be doing out there. Back in it, Sid tries to start a powerbomb, but fans are mostly silent. Well, they figure that's what Sid wanted. The referee finally gets bumped. It's kind of sad we waiting for a ref bump. Yeah. Right before Sid's a powerbomb, cue Jeff Jarrett with a guitar, knocks Sid out cold. The referee slowly gets up and Nash loads up a powerbomb, but his back is out. The referee turns around as Nash is holding his back, and Sid is down. Nash, yeah, a powerbomb. The referee, well, okay then. Nash wins. Scott Hudson here. I refuse to refer to Nash as the master of the powerbomb. Oh, dang, man. The Scott Hudson endorsed it. This is a shame.
Come on, Nash. It's what every wrestler dreams of.
This is a shame of a radio powerbomb master. Failure, freaking stupid for the level of physical holy for goodness sake. Fire them both. Pick A2, and that's what the F stands for here. I actually had to get up and walk away a bit the second time I watched this before I started writing this down. They somehow booked the match to go around one finisher, and they couldn't do that finish because actually I wanted to do the powerbomb. From a kayfabe perspective, how freaking horrible did the referees in this commentary in this coming law? Ranging from staying down for 5 minutes on a single shot to not being able to see the time literally 3 feet in front of them. To say, yeah, sure, I'll believe you when you say powerbomb. You will never lie. There are worse referees I've ever seen. During the build to the show, Ryan Piper, who I believe was the commissioner at the time, had a young boy doing his work for him, who hears voices in his head. I will do a Randy Orton joke there, but Orton's too good for this show. So we're just gonna move on. Benoit says the open challenge is still open. U.S. title, Benoit versus question mark. Ladder match and a title's officially coming in. The mystery opponent is Jeff Jarrett. Because why have 2 Jarrett segments when you can have 3?
Yep.
And my goodness, they changed from jeans to gear and Howard. He came out in jeans in the last match and then he was back in his gear.
Yeah.
It's a brawl in the aisle to start Benoit chopping Jeff to the ring. Something like an Irish curse drops Jarrett superplex allows Benoit to go for the first line. Jarrett gets up and hits a baseball slide to John Ladder in the Benoit, but Chris was in the ladder in the corner a few times to take her again. Benoit gets crushed against the ladder for something like a Russian lace suit out of corner. Chris is busted open, but still able to tie Jarrett and Trey well in the stand ladder. Only to find out that it's hard to climb the ladder with someone hanging from the other side. Both guys go up until Jarrett gets knocked down, followed by both guys going up and get knocked over for nice crashes. In the best spot of the match, Benoit goes up, but Jarrett dropkicks the ladder out from underneath him, sending Benoit down for a huge crash. Benoit's up first and dropkicks the ladder into Jarrett, but Benoit will rather drop a swan dive off the top of the ladder. It's like grab the belt, down he goes up and gets the belt for the win. My rating might be high, but anything above horrible will be 10 times better than anything else on this everything else on the show. Best match of the night here about 19,000 years, and naturally only has 10 minutes because we need to give Oklahoma 2 minutes and had the roast to a day 4 match instead of giving this another 8 minutes. There is much to say here other than the guys who don't be spots making them look good. Elmer's the polar opposite of everything else tonight. A-. We recap Goldberg versus Hart, which started over Hart wanted to give Goldberg a title shot and then became an outsider story involving the tag team titles. Other than a few one-off promos, these two barely address each other. Biggest action for your
biggest pay-per-view. Yeah.
Burt says he's winning whether Goldberg likes it or not. Those two will tell Burt versus Goldberg. No DQ and there must be a winner with Burt defending. Instead of asking if we're ready to rumble, Bumper tells us we're ready.
We are ready.
Because the fans will probably boost us a question out of the building for making this last even longer. You know how much of the time wrestling main event, you saw like 30, 40 minutes. The bell here rings just over 13 minutes to go in the show. For some reason, we'll feel wrong with the main event. The big show, you're going to have more time than that, though. They shake hands and we're ready to go. Goldberg shoves him down. They have a lock on the start, but Britt takes it down with a headlock. That goes nowhere. So Goldberg girl presses him into power slam for 2. Goldberg tries that real late lock, but Britt turns into an early sharpshooter turn, but it's all he could do. They fight outside the referee's can bump. It's not even a big deal at this point.
Yeah.
Robinson comes in as a replacement, and an overly excited and likely drunk fan is Jason Bailey in the front row. A big boot pulls Hart back down inside, and Robinson gets bumped on a head toss. Goldberg spears the turnbuckles. The third referee comes out to see Britt pulling the third floor on a post. Back in, Britt starts on the leg and pulls on a regular third floor. The turn says Britt run for a rope, so he wrestles around the middle of the corner. Goldberg reverses and hammers away, but referee number 3 goes down. There's the Britt Killer super kick to set the spear. But dejected Ryan Piper comes out to be 4th referee. Britt apparently having struggled with the spear, kicks Goldberg in the knee, and Montreal strikes again as Piper calls for the bell before Britt turns the sharpshooter over. Hussin. Not Montreal all over again. Yes, it's Montreal all over again, because that's the dumbest thing they could possibly do. The match was watchable, but between the whole and then Bret Hart's career, and going back to fake Montreal 2 years later, with Britt on the good end this time is one of the worst hustle ideas they could come up with. If you want Britt to keep the title screwed up, then have someone lay Goldberg out from behind or whatever. But good night, don't do it like this. I mean, if that's the thing I can think of, just close the doors now. Because Russo's clearly not what he's trying to be. Oh, gee, well, I understand. And they need to find anyone else to give the reins over to them immediately. D-minus. That was because of the referee. Piper hands for the belt, walks on to this show. Overall rating. Pat, look at my overall, why I say that thing.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, I'm yelling in here.
It's a good 2 pages right there.
I'm going to be blocked on Russo's Twitter if he catches the limit. Actually, send it to me. Overall rating. No.
Best rating I think anyone's ever came up with for a show.
No.
No.
Oh, no, it's still going. No. No, no, no. No, 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 no. This is flat out not acceptable. That's a big show year for any promotion, whereas it's a show for any serious promotion, actually. Where in the world do I even start? Well, let's start at the ending, actually. As the main event was the longest match of the night at 12 minutes and 7 seconds.
I'm going to grab some Cheetos for this.
This past week's episode of Raw had 2 matches longer than that. And that's the Run the Mill TV show. Actually, might have 3. Actually, the Cruiserweight match on Raw had more time than that. 3 matches overall, and that's the Run the Mill TV show. Above all else, this felt like could be an given Phil pay-per-view, but they're not trying. I know WCW had mixed feelings about how big of a deal Starrcade really was, but at least they would usually give lip service to that fact as the biggest time of the year. This felt like full brawl or uncensored instead of Starrcade, and that's the feeling you can't shake off no matter what. Starrcade 1999, here's our Russo right. Starrcade 1999 was Vince Russo with time to come up with his best possible ideas. Somehow he managed to produce one of the worst WrestleManias, and WrestleMania 15, and one of the worst Starrcades of all time in the same year.
That is the truth, actually, yes.
Do you have any idea how difficult?
In the same calendar year.
Do you have any idea how difficult it is to do that in the span of about 9 months? So much of this can be blamed on the writing and booking too. When you have 13 matches in a show that runs less than 2 hours and 45 minutes, there's very little the wrestlers can do to make it feel like.
Yes.
The Mama Luke versus Disco and Lash was the best match of the night until Chris Benoit and Lara took their top spot. Notice I don't say Jeff Jarrett. That's almost inconceivable that a totally average time match was as good as this show could do for about 80% of the card. These stories are fun to go with no real rhyme or reason to most of them, and at some point the fans just give up. Yeah, it worked back in the WWF in 1999. Well, that's the same argument made about TNA 2 years ago. Why would I want to watch a light version of the same stories with lesser and older talent? No, it'll work. Now it's just lesser talent, TNA, not older talent. Why is the best? There comes a point where you have to show your audience respect when they're going to turn on you. That's what Russo does to get the point. He thinks the fans are going to follow whatever he does because they're watching wrestling so and therefore aren't that smart. That means he can throw some big serious sports us and expect us to just go for an explanation of you didn't see it coming. And it somehow blames us for not getting it. I know this is rambling, but after watching this there's no way I made for coherent thought process. It's just one big surprise here and on, but the problem is you can start to see a surprise coming about half hour into the show. Alright.
Sorry about that. Here, I'll eat more Cheetos while he's ranting. Because it's entertaining.
I know I'm rambling, but after watching this exercise, I'm like, okay. If you're training your to suspectedly swerve, it stops being a swerve and becomes part of the plot. Piper's coming out at the end of this swerve will work better if we have so many people turning each other or one big surprise after another for 2.5 hours leading up to it. It doesn't help that Piper's a legend and hasn't had a good match in about 7 years at this point. But he's being featured as a major plot point for a sort of people don't hear about. The build for the show didn't make me want to see it, and the show itself was horrible, making me have no desire to keep tuning in. What is there left untied here? Nash wins the throw to show Sid's worthless. Hole is probably going to come back and take the title from Benoit. And we get to see more Jeff Jarrett. The big cliffhanger here is why did Piper screw Goldberg? And that's because you're going to Nitro tomorrow. I have zero desire to keep watching this promotion. I'm sure it's all my fault for us supporting Russo like he deserves for putting on. This is sliding TV for me. Total disaster of a show, and it's more likely having a rock wall instead of starting some new chapter in the company's history as the years come to a close. And I'll do it.
And that's how we end it.
For week 21. Thank you for all the views this week. Follow us on Twitter, Pat Young 215
at the Joe Venuto 215
at WrestlingIMB on Instagram at WrestlingIMB. And our friends on Instagram on IBLs_photography.
All the links are down at the bottom.
Just in case you don't know what the bottoms are. In the description box down below.
The nice description box underneath this video.
And we got 2 new subscribers, I believe, too, so welcome.
Yeah.
Subscribe if you want to, and click the notification bell to know when we upload videos.
Yes.
Which is just practically every day. So, we'll see you next week.
Yes, we will.
Bye.
hold it.